What's up, it's your girl Nikki Blends coming to you with yet another transformational video. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as follow me on Instagram at Nikki Blends so that we can stay connected. I want to thank each and every one of you for continually supporting me by watching my videos. So without further ado, let's get straight to it.
So as you can see, I already placed my guideline. Today we're going to do a blowout taper. I'm using the Gamma hitters just to set my line. I'm going to go ahead and trim the back just so that I can know what area I'm working with, whether I want to make sure that the taper goes lower or higher. I have an outline of the perimeter in which I'm working with. Today I'm going to be using my detachable blades, my Andis clippers. And I just wanted to show that it's possible to do a flawless fade with the detachables. A lot of people don't really rock with them because they're stiff, but for me, depending on the hair type, it helps me work smarter and not harder. And so the steps that I use is a triple op, a OA, then I go to the 1, and then I do a 1A. And then I'll go in with my Walls clippers or either my Andis clippers and just pop out any necessary lines. Right now I have my seniors, and that's just coming in with the 1 with the guard open just to get rid of that bulking that may be at the nape area. I like to use a comb because I feel like brushes pack the hair down, so with the comb you're able to get rid of more hair. As I go to the side of the temple areas, once again my Gamma hitters set in that first line, which serves as that first bald line. Then I come in with my Gamma's close shaver in order to take and get rid of any hairs. One thing that I have learned to be truth is that in order to get that flawless fade down at the bottom, you have to use a shaver in order to make sure that there are no patches of hair and just to give it that flawless transition look. Once again, taking and going in. Oh, I'm also using today my 1.5 guard with my detachables. As you can see, I'm taking down the hair. His hair is pretty straight, and so you'll see a lot of different techniques that I use when I'm cutting his hair, because although it's straight, it runs the risk of a lot of hair standing up, especially after a wash. Those are my magic clips, and as you can see, I'm going in with the 1.5 guard just to take in, once again, work my way down. When fading, it's better to work your way down if you're taking hair down, because say for instance, if you already have a close guard or your blade is closed, when cutting, you run the risk of cutting that client's hair too close. So that's why I've always said that it's better to take and start with a bigger guard and work your way down, opposed to starting with the smaller guard and not being able to put that hair back. You can always take off, but you can't put back. Going back to the other side, and usually when I cut, I like to do a 3-step process, especially when it's a taper, because I like for my cuts to have consistency. So if I did it one way on one side, I'll do it the other way on the other side, as well as the nape for the entire wraparound. To me, I find it to be a little bit easier and faster as well, because you're able to get rid of those steps instead of having to perfect one side and then go perfect another side and perfect another side. Like, you're able to continually do it. So that's the technique that I like to use. Now I'm using, once again, my detachable blades, that 1.5 guard. I just purchased that, and that has come in like clutch. I also like to use the skip tooth detachable blade. That helps with that area of that bulking that most people are afraid of, where you see where the 1A and the 2 meet. Taking and using that skip tooth gets rid of that bulk. And so once again, I have my magic clips, 1.5 guard, just getting rid of that hair. As you can see, my blower, you see them in a lot of my videos. It's actually a computer duster, you know, to clean your keyboards and stuff. I'm in a suite, so it didn't make sense to have a compressor. So that thing, it really puts out air, and it's able to leave the clients feeling clean, able to dust off shoes and all of that. Those are the simple and things that you can do to enhance your service, and say, hey, yeah, I'm paying attention to the smallest detail, that even when you walk out of here, there is no hair left on your clothing, your shoes, or anything of that nature. I'll be sure to drop the link below for those of you that may be interested in purchasing it. It has different nozzles, and it really comes in handy. So now I'm going to go ahead and just once again run it across the hair to get rid of any of those hairs that may be standing up. The 1.5 guard, just to make sure that when I'm finished with this cut, his hair is going to lay perfectly. And so once again, blowing off the excess hair, that helps with making sure that there's no bulk and patching as well. Now after his wash, I went ahead and applied some mousse to your preference. I like the mousse that will dry very well as assisting with laying down and still applying moisture where it's not drying the hair out. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and brush that in, making sure that I'm touching the front of the hairline to get those hairs to lay down. One thing I like about his hair is, although it appears to be gray, the undertone of it is still black. So I think it's like the best of both worlds, that perfect blend of that salt and pepper. Now I'm just going to take a holding spray or a finishing spray and just applying that to the top of the hair. Now he's going underneath the dryer, and to each client it's a difference. And once I'm done with that, I once again take my guards with my wall clipper. It is the one guard open and running across to get rid of any of those hairs that may be standing up. I truly appreciate this client because, I mean, he lets me know things straight up, and he said the one thing that he's acknowledged when he leaves out of the shop is that it's a true haircut. Why? Because the hair is washed. I remove the bulk that may exist. I go across it multiple times just to ensure that it's laying down. Your clients are paying attention to what you're doing. And so just once again, the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. If it's a matter of you taking and going across it a couple times or stepping back and looking at it from different angles, you do what you have to do, because this client is saying, hey, I am willing to invest in your business, invest in your brand, invest in your craft because of what you have to offer me. And so just making sure that you are doing those necessary steps. Right now, I have my slim lines where I'm going on the nape and just shaping up. Mind you, I've done it already. So now this is that finisher. This is that icing on the cake, if you will. Taking and making sure that when you are hitting those lines, they are saying something, and more importantly, they are gonna be able to last more. Now, as you all know, I do use enhancements, but this right here is the truth in the pudding. My lines are straight right now, no enhancements, and so I take pride in making sure that my lines are straight, and that's where that mousse will come in handy. Those holding sprays will come in handy. You have a lot of barbers that speak against that, but it's like, yo, why not take it and enhance that quality whatever way is necessary? The spritz and the holding sprays hold those hairs down, and when you apply heat or cool air, it dries it so that you know that when you cut, or if they go home and wash their hair, they don't have any surprise hairs standing up. They have a true cut, and that's one thing that I try to be intentional about. Regardless of what people have to say about the techniques, I know that these techniques work. So as you can see, I have my enhancer spray, and once again, it is enhancing what I have already done. And so for this, if a client asks for it, my clients, they have never complained. Most clients are very appreciative, and for those that don't want it, they are very vocal, and I respect that. This is, for me, a way to ensure that the line is straight. Whether people believe it or not, for me it works. Say if somebody had a patchy hairline, I would rather keep it at its natural state, low as possible, opposed to trying to dig into a hairline to satisfy my desire for a straight line or that client's desire for a straight line. And so with these enhancements, it is a part of barbering. Don't let anyone fool you and say that it's paint and all that kind of stuff. Any barber that says enhancements is paint is ignorant, because dye, hair color, all of that is a part of barbering. And so when you go and you look at your books, you will see sections on this stuff. And so once again, I'll get off my soapbox, but it's just our moment just to clarify the air. I use a Tresemme holding spray, and as you saw, you have got to spray it on. Don't air dust it, because then you run the risk of it not holding. You actually have to spray it on the line with direct one directional sprays so that you ensure that it's coating the fibers that have been applied. And once again, just taking my trimmers and just hitting that line again. Now, most people say, why do you use the dye and the fibers? The reason for doing that for me is, one, the dye lasts longer than the fibers. Secondly, it gives it a more natural look opposed to it being painted on. Most people are against enhancements because they don't know how to properly apply them. As you can see, I am combing the hair. I am ensuring that where it is that I've applied it, I can comb, brush, and do whatever is necessary as it pertains to the hair. And so now you can see that I'm getting ready to go in with the straight razor. And there's two techniques that I usually use. Today I'm using a holder, but the other one, as you all know, and I often say don't try it at home, I do it a freehand. Shouts out to Alex the Barber _0411, homeboys from Belize, and he showed me that technique and it's helped me in so many ways. So you can check out another one of my videos with me actually doing that. And so just going in and just touching that line again. I laid the client back. The view wasn't really good, so know that I did do his frontal line as well with the razor. And so now I'm using my electric shaver and just going across. As I stated before, these are the things that really make or break your cut. Those extra steps that most people may not seem to be necessary. My confidence with the shaver is a lot better than me freehanding. I prefer to use this because I know that I can apply pressure and I don't have to run any risk of any patching or anything of that nature. Just cleaning up, going back over the cut, looking at it from different angles. This client is going to have different people looking at his haircut from different angles, and so that's the same thing as a barber we should be doing to make sure that from every angle that cut is solid. Once again, those finishing touches, the icing on the cake is what we are doing right now. I just want to take the time to say once again, thank you so much for all of you that are supporting. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can stay in tune with the latest techniques, as well as keeping up and following, so we can just form a pack, if you say you will, or like a solid family where, you know, just showing love, support, and encouraging one another. So hit that bell so that you can get notifications anytime a new video is dropped. And I just thank y'all for y'all time, because y'all could be doing anything. And as I finish that cut, I just went ahead and hit it with a holding spray. And here is the grand finale.